Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of
Rating Arizona.
Beers, brought to you by King's Beer and Wine over here on Central and Thomas. If you've never been to King's, then get in your car right now and drive over to King's because they're open. So
They are. They're open.
they're open, and,
Right
and
now
they have
they are.
and they have over 80 beers on tap.
Just on tap.
Just
Doesn't
on
even
tap.
count. That doesn't even, they got coolers over there. They've got, awesome people.
And they have a great staff. So I don't,
Cool design,
There's
too.
some things I don't understand in this world, and like whenever you go to a restaurant that has really good beer and really great food and really good servers, it's like I don't understand because
What?
it's so hard to do.
Like what's happening? Like,
Right.
like you're on.
I'm so used to, I'm so used to having like either crappy service or they only have, warm cores on tap or, you know what I mean? Just
Where are you going?
I don't know. Not the right places, obviously.
You're not going to King's Beer and Wine on Central and Thomas.
Get
here
down
in
to
Phoenix,
King's Beer and
Arizona.
Yeah. So we are your hosts. I'm Marcus at
Marcus.
Barista2 on Instagram.
And I'm Eric Walters from Tap.az and A Taste of AZ.
Everyone knows Eric. So today's
family does.
beer is going to be a beer out of 1912 Brewery out in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah.
This is TOMA WAY. This is a Gose coming in at 4.2% ABV. And TOMA WAY, do you know what TOMA WAY is? I mean, so 1912 tends to do this thing with their beer names, very Mexican, Hispanic kind of thing.
Sonoran culture for
Sonoran
sure.
culture for sure, yeah.
Yep.
Tucson's so close to the border that, it's a really cool that they do shout outs like this.
Well, that they embrace it. Tucson's awesome, man. I love Tucson. So it was the first city in the U.S. I think it's one of only two city of gastronomy. Do you know what that is?
It's like food.
Yeah. Well, it's food, agriculture, everything all combined.
Yeah.
But that it's actually given out by the United Nations. I didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
I thought it was like some just
geez, wow.
random organization. No, it's the United Nations that actually designates this because of like the history of agriculture and how long. So there's a tribe in Native American tribe that's basically outside of Tucson that has been cultivating the same land for like 4,000 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's that history with it. And San Antonio is the other city in the U.S.
Wow.
That's it. There's only like 32 in the
Holy
world.
smokes.
So
So TOMA WAY is pretty hilarious. I don't know if you guys understand what the reference is.
No, I do
So way is almost kind of like, you could say it's like dude, like a rude way of saying dude maybe
Okay.
in Spanish, because, a lot of Hispanic people use it a lot. They'll be like, hey, way, hey, what's up, way? Kind of like a raunchy way of saying dude.
okay, all right. Kind of talking shit to somebody. a
Yeah,
little bit.
kind of, but like friendly.
Okay.
In a
Yeah,
friendly
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And so toma is like here. So like toma way, it's like here, dude. Here, like here, take this.
Yeah.
So it's like take it. So this is,
That's why the skeleton's holding it out.
and that's why the skeleton is holding it and giving it to you. Toma
dig
way.
it.
So So tropical and citrus Gose. Are you a big fan of Goses?
Love Goses, man. Yeah, love them. So Gose, like what signifies a Gose is Gose's an ale, right?
It is an ale. It's not lager.
Not a lager. It's an ale with coriander and sea salt. Is that the defining?
That defines a Gose. Yeah,
Okay,
for
all right.
sure.
Which is weird, right? Because people are like salt in a beer, which actually all beer has salt in it, right?
Right.
There's water profile and all that.
Yeah.
But, dude, I love Goses for sure.
Yeah. So beer does, it comes in a clear gold color, nice compact white head on this. Man, let's get a drive-by aroma.
Yeah.
So-
Fruity. There's fruit for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a genius.
I
smell fruit.
honestly, so for me, the aroma is not as big as I thought it would be.
Okay.
I would think, you'd get that like salinity, the bit like almost like that sour kind of character.
Sure.
Something
Yeah.
like that. So I probably have to dig in a little deeper. But so far, aroma-wise, I'm not getting too much on it.
I'm looking for a date here. 1912. You guys put your dates on there. They might not. But how do dates work with things like Goses and sours and stuff?
Yeah, so sours and Goses survive a long time.
Okay.
They could be aged. Well, obviously, barrel, like traditionally made sours are made in a barrel for years, then blended.
Okay,
So
yep.
it goes as a quick souring process. Typically, they probably kettle sour,
Okay.
make a base, and then they make a sour base and then do their additions to it. So that's
See, there is math in brewing, isn't there?
just a ton of math.
There is a ton of math. When I was doing the Tap That Easy Hazy with Marshall, he was asking me questions like, what do you want this to taste like? What do you want this and that? And he's doing like math equations. I'm like, dude, isn't there like software you can use?
There's software.
No, that's what I love though. Like at Martin, he's like, dude, no, this is how you get the most. He looks at the analysis of the hops, like each cycle, and yeah.
So 1912. So I have never been to 1912 Brewing.
Oh, no shit.
I've never been there.
Okay.
And I've never had this beer before, so this is going to be a completely fresh review for me. Gose-wise, 4.2% ABV, colors, everything there. As far as the aroma is concerned, I mean, it does have, as far as fruit, it's weird. It's almost like jackfruit to me, or dragon fruit, which is like really low aroma. I don't really get anything too big out of it. I don't know if you do.
No, it's really light. Like all of it is really light. Like all of the scent to it it's really subtle, right? If someone said, "Hey, this is a Gose," so you're going to get that saltiness and
Right.
to it, you'd kind of have to look for it.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely.
Which I think is a good thing.
Yeah. So
Sometimes.
let's get a taste on it. Cheers and thank you to Kings.
King's Beer and Wine. That's good. That's light.
It's very light.
Very light. Yeah.
Yeah. So even as far as the sour scale for a Gose, it's like barely tipping into, I would say, Gose territory.
Sure.
In all honesty, my first impression, honestly, was like blonde ale.
Sure. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
Because it does still even leave that that aftertaste. You get a little bit of that, like you had referred to before in a beer, like kind of like a muskiness.
Sure. Yeah.
Or
Yep.
Something like that towards the back end, which Goses typically leave because of the salt and coriander. But this one's super light, like 4.2% ABV, not very salty, very crushable.
This thing's fantastic, man. I dig this beer. So, and it even says on the can, TOMA WAY is the leanest Gose we've made to date. Yeah, dude. So 1912 does some really cool stuff. Like they're some of the ones that are kind of digging more into the mixed culture and like the sour aspect of it. When I had I just had his name in Alan. When I had Alan on the show, actually, you know what? No, when I had him on the show, I didn't even interview him. It was Classy Alcoholic. So when I listened to the show of Tap That Easy with Classy Alcoholic as the host,
there was a lot of cussing involved.
Yeah, there was. Actually, you know what? No, now that I think about it, it was when we were doing research for the beer book, and I had the conversation with him about they have an 11% Gose.
Okay.
The Nadi Naranja.
Yeah.
And that's the one we highlighted in the Arizona Beer Book. And he was just like, dude, I like just doing crazy shit. Like, I like doing, he likes the wild, which I love. Because why do people avoid that? Like, why aren't there more places doing more sours and wild ales and things like that? It is time? Okay. Not so much the issue with the brewing equipment?
Right. So mainly traditional sours are soured in a barrel. And then if they're cultured, I mean, a lot of times you have to find an area that has wild yeast that produce good beer.
Sure. Okay.
So
not all wild yeast produce good beer.
Yeah, not all wild yeast produce good beer. And the other thing is, since living in Arizona, our temperature, we could probably only get wild yeast for like maybe 3 months out of the year. In the Phoenix area.
Sure.
I mean, Flagstaff, obviously that time is much longer, but anything above the freezing time, anything over 32 degrees, you're going to get bacteria that are going to fight the yeast.
Okay.
And then just make the beer undrinkable. It's going to be bad, be full of
Shitty
bacteria.
beer.
Yeah.
Not the amazing stuff that you think it's going to be.
Right. So the yeast you want, anything below 32 degrees. And then for a long period of time. In other words, it takes a lot of effort to get the beer. And then we're talking years to get the beer soured on its own. It's going to sour and ferment on its own in a barrel. And after that, then you can taste the beer if you like it. You're more than likely going to have to blend it with another beer. So there's a lot of blending involved.
You're crushing my dreams right now of an Arizona brew.
It takes a lot of time. Gesture King, I think they're one of the best mixed fermentation kind of places. So the quick way to do it is kettle souring, and when you kettle sour a beer, it could be done very, very, very quickly, and that just means that you are adding bacteria to your wort and keeping it like at 100 degrees, wherever that bacteria likes to thrive, that the good bacteria to sour your beer, and then you let it sour. Maybe 24, 48 hours. You keep checking the pH on it. Typical pH, you want to be in the probably 3.2, 3.4 area.
Okay.
And then once you get the sour level correct, then you basically brew your beer. You boil it and add your hops and do whatever else you want to do to it. So it's a pretty quick process.
Okay.
But at the same time, you don't get the character that you would get aging.
Well, I think when a lot of people, when they say, like I had a sour and it was just super sour, most likely it was a kettle sour. Right?
Most likely it was a kettle sour.
Yeah. That's a tough one to pull off, like a good kettle sour.
Good kettle sours are difficult. But 1912 is like one of the breweries that does do a fantastic kettle sour.
Amazing jobs.
And they do a great job with their souring program. I've never had a bad beer out of 1912. Even
you got to go into the brewery now.
I need to go. Well, I keep saying that, but when I go to Tucson, last trip we went to Motor Sonora, 1055. You go to Harbottle. So it's like, unless you're there for like a week, it's hard to, when you do a 2-day trip, to hit everywhere you want to go.
Sure.
Because not only the breweries, but the food in Tucson is. And I'm not a foodie. Like I just eat to live, as you could tell. I mean, I could live a long time because I
live to eat, man.
But see, and you're exactly right. You eat to live. You live to eat. I eat to live. And that's the difference. But the food, I will definitely admit, it's fantastic. Anyways, we're kind of rambling on, so apologize for that. I would say compared to other Goses, now for me, this is really, really light. It's super crushable, but the flavor-wise, I'm not really pulling everything out that I think they really wanted us to. So as far as compared to other Goses, I'd probably go like 8.5 on this beer.
Okay.
But, what do you think?
I would say it's light on the flavor. Or not on the flavor, but it's just light on all levels, right? So like it's balanced, but it's lightly balanced. If that makes sense, right? So for me, I could have 2 or 3 of these in the pool.
Oh, yeah. For
2
sure.
or 3, but if it's like just a night where I'm just like, I'm gonna have one beer and I want to have, that wouldn't be it, right? Just no other reason than just like that it's crushable. And sometimes you don't want one. If you're gonna have a single beer, you don't want something that's crushable.
Yeah.
But did I give a number?
No.
I would give this a 9.
Yeah.
I would give this a 9 for sure. Yeah. I love this beer. And there's not a lot of easy to get sours in Arizona.
It's true.
Right?
True.
I mean, even Neonic from the shop, it's not my favorite Neonic, the Orange Julius. I mean, it's good. But this and the Beer Devoir, was that called from College Street?
Okay,
the blueberry sour. I haven't seen that in a while. Hope you guys are still making it. That is, dude, that's hands down.
Boysenberry.
Well, it's a blueberry.
No, boysenberry sour too.
The Helton.
Helton.
Yeah. See, but even so, I'd say this and that College Street one are above those ones.
Yeah. Yes. So, I mean, fantastic job. If you guys are ever in the Tucson area, go hit up 1912. And I'm actually just saying that to myself.
Yeah. Well,
that's the next place I'm going to go to.
You like whiskey too, right?
I love bourbon. Yeah.
So you can do a thing. You could go to Whiskey Del Bach, right down in Tucson. You know what Whiskey Del Bach is?
I've had their barrels and I've brewed beer and put them in their barrels.
Oh, shit, then you know more than I do. But they do a thing where you can go to their facility and bottle.
Yeah.
You can bottle with them, and they'll give you a bottle. And if you have a really good arm, you could throw a football from Whiskey Del Bach to 1912. So go there, bottle some bottles at Whiskey Del Bach, which is one of the coolest distilleries in the country, and then wrap it up at 1912.
And there you go. So I will be at 1912 soon. So again, thanks for watching, guys, and thank you to King's Beer and Wine for hosting us. We definitely appreciate you guys. And if you are ever in Phoenix and you are a beer person, and if you don't go to King's, you're a fool.
Absolutely. That's it.
So,
That was pretty good summarization.
So thanks for watching, guys. Again, my name is Marcus, Brewery602 on Instagram.
Eric Walters from Tap.az.
Cheers.
buddy.
Well, I don't remember names, but remember faces. Tried their best just to replace us. Boy, don't even have quite the idea of just what to do.